You have just arrived in the desert in Qatar, and you see from a distance first, you see something like in this barren land. And then you move towards it and realize, what's that? Well, what am I doing here in the first place? And what am I doing here in a bigger picture? When I came to the site, I also recognized a feeling within myself where I felt, oh, I've been here before. This vast emptiness and this horizon, this sort of crispness. I have no scale. My body has no size. I have no way of navigating. I'm lost, as this is not how I normally orient myself. Walking, moving, suddenly my scale came back to me by virtue of movement. I became the timekeeper for the space I'm in. And the shadow is also, when you look at the shadow, you know you exist. It's a cultural construct, the way we navigate and see the world, the way we sense, the way we move in our surroundings. From here to here, you have the people here, and as you walk towards it, this mirror starts to appear. You know, the mirrors, it's almost like a, okay, look at the crust. This is where you are, right? This looks like the ground. This looks like the sky. I wouldn't say ceiling or ground. Here's a site where the crust of the earth you can see 2 times. And it just seems like there's nothing to draw your attention really away from the fact this is the crust of the earth. The site for shadows traveling on the sea of the day is a nature cultural landscape. You can say it's nature entangled with culture. It's about coming down to earth. There's me, upside down, revisiting my own, well, myself and my own perspective. Where did I come from? Where am I going? How does the wind feel? What is the wind telling me? Who made the wind, anyway? So maybe the mirrors and the steel structure, maybe that's just the machine. Why don't we just call it the machine that produces ephemera? All the immaterial, the ephemera, the wind, the dust of the sand, the temperature, the humidity, the heat, all of that becomes, I think, more present. The invisible is not completely invisible, offering that this is also a space.
What were you thinking?
Intuition.
But are you trying to connect?
Like this one here.
Yeah, but this one's two. That's one.
But there's a few singular pieces. There's one there, there's one there.
No, but this one's really literally in the middle of those two glass pieces. Look at all the rings and the reflections. Wait, is that the single piece?
Yeah.
So it continues in the mirror.
That's what I'm saying, even the other ones.
Okay, now, so it's not intuition, it's mathematical.
So you see, this one here, it goes into this mirror.
Yes, even that one over there. Although the ring is not complete, you could imagine it.
Yeah. And it's kind of one of the secrets of the work. It's not been easy.
Definitely makes you think differently. All the time when we look at our public artwork, we see how to engage the community, creating conversations. I mean, if you can just imagine this place, you can see children playing here, you can see families talking, birds gathering here. And when we have a lot of rain, the whole desert landscape turns into greenery. So you experience it differently, different parts of the year. And I think that's what's fascinating.
There is no site that is truly natural. Every site carries its own narrative, knowing that evidently somebody was there before you, something was happening for a long time. So I don't think of a site as something static where you arrive. It's something dynamic you meet up with. That makes it almost a little bit more like a crossroad.
There's also an opportunity in being hosted, and maybe within that even, self-reflection.
So you're within a cluster of coastal settlements along the northern coast. The Al Zubarah UNESCO World Heritage Site was one of the key trading ports or hubs in the 18th century. So you have movement of ideas through people, movement of goods coming from different parts of the world.
In a sense, you could call this a little settlement. It's not that there is no hierarchy, because clearly there's a pentagon here in the middle, but it's also not necessarily a hierarchy defined by any clear organization or order or something like that. You can see here the fivefold pattern is absolutely gorgeous. And the growth, expansion of it is not quite random, it's quasi-random. When you look at it, you kind of go, oh, what's the order? Because evidently there is an order, but it is as if it doesn't subscribe to the perpendicular and the horizontal sort of regime in which we live. Our lives are the result of where we live and how we live, and we are an accumulation of all our experiences. Our minds are put to work in a pentagonal system in ways that doesn't really subscribe to the central perspective. How do we now talk about it? Should we choose to monumentalize it? Call it a landmark? The monuments are typically about the past, and I would like to not walk backwards. So I would like to make something about tomorrow.